let's look at actually some hooks that have been created or using with React. So for using React with Firestore, there is a package which is called React Firebase Hooks. This is a hook just like useState is a hook, just like useEffect is a hook. The idea is you can create a query or create a document reference, right? You can document reference, as you say, database.collection or whatever your collection is, .doc. Docref will often look something like db.collection of restaurants .doc of whatever your restaurant ID is. Or we can also have a query, which looks like over some collection. Let's just say we throw in a where clause. Again, this is a valid query all by itself, but we can throw in where clauses, we can throw in an order by, we can throw in a limit. In fact, just leave it like this. What we can do then is in a component, we can call use document or use collection. So use document and pass in a document reference, or use collection and pass in a query. When we do that, we get back a triplet. So this is for either use collection or use document. We get the triplet, which consists of value, loading, and error. The idea is when this hook first runs, you're going to get back loading is true. So first time, loading is true. And value is going to be null and error is going to be null. So you don't really have your data yet. But what you do have is the information that you're loading. So you could go ahead and put up something on the screen that says you're loading. So you're in your component, you just look at loading and decide to put up some string that says loading. And don't try and actually use your data. Use your restaurants, for example. So this is asynchronous. So the first time you call it, it's going to immediately return loading is true. And then it's going to wait for actually the loading to finish. So it's going to wait for the network communication to work and come out back with either the document or the snapshot for the collection. And at that point, then it re-renders, your component gets called again. And this time, second time, loading is false and value contains either your document, if we did use document. So value is either a document or a snapshot. If it's a document, you use document.data function. If it's a snapshot, you're going to iterate. And for each of these, you're going to have a document, and you can use document.data for each of those. The key thing is this re-rendering is going to happen automatically. So basically what's happened is use document and use collection both register a listener. Whenever the listener is called, that's going to cause the component that has the hook in it to re-render. And you're going to get a new value. And if there's some sort of an error, like for instance, you're missing an index, then you're going to actually get an error in the error return from the hook. You call use document, and then your component is going to re-render every time any field in the document changes, and you're going to get basically a new value for value. And so when you call .data on it, then you're going to get the fields of that document. Similarly, if you make a query and call use collection on the query, then if there's anything that would change the results of the query, so either there's a new document that would be returned by the query, or there's a document that's been deleted that belongs to the query, or if any of the documents in the query have changed, you're going to re-render and you get a new value for value. And when you iterate over that and then get the .data, something about it's going to be different. Key thing about this is if you've got a query that's, let's say, limited to the city is Austin, if new documents are added to your collection in other cities, that's not going to affect your listener, and that's not going to cause you to re-render. Only if new documents are added to Austin, or documents are removed for Austin, or any Austin documents have any fields in them changed. And in that case, you will re-render. And when you re-render, you're going to get a new value. And when you iterate over that value, you're going to get new documents, and you're going to re-render them, and all's good. So this is all that's really involved with using React, is these two fairly simple hooks. Now, there are some other hooks involved with it. So use document, use collection, both do install a listener. If you want to just get a document one time or a collection one time, you can do that. In that case, you're just getting you're getting a current snapshot of it, and you're not going to be notified of any changes. But we still use the value loading error mechanism, because when you call it, even if you want a single value and have no listener, it's still going to be loading the first time, probably, because it has to go out to the network because of this asynchronicity. And so the first time loading will be true, and then the second time loading will be false, and value will have the value that you need.